CNN is absolutely shocked to discover that Donald Trump is popular on the issue of immigration, and that with the LA riots going on, the deployment of the National Guard and the Marines, Donald Trump's approval rating on immigration is positive, and Republicans are trusted more on the issue. Now, I must say, Harry Enton of CNN has become a living meme in that this is basically his MO at this point, to be the guy on CNN going, wow, Donald Trump is popular and correct on these issues. I wonder if what CNN's going for here is everybody knows that we're far left anti-Trump, so let's get a guy who is constantly shocked to discover people actually like Donald Trump. Maybe that might wake up some of these far left lunatics.
The American electorate believe that the Democrats don't have a clue on the issue of immigration. I mean, you could just take it here. Closer to trust more in immigration, Democrats versus Republicans. Got 3 different polls for you across the board. They all tell the same story. Republicans lead on the issue of immigration. You see it here, CBS +6. You see it here, CNN +6. You see it here, Ipsos, even bigger, +19. No matter what poll you look at, no matter which way you cut it, the American public is with the Republicans. The American public is with Donald Trump, and to a much greater extent than they were in term number 1.
I just want to say real quick, I like Harry Enton. He's being honest. He's pulling up the polls. He's telling you what they say, even when the polls can be wonky. And he's saying this is the issue Trump is succeeding on. So I don't want to rag on the guy. He's doing a good job.
And it's not just on the broad issue of immigration. It's on the specifics as well, in which the American public is with Donald Trump and the Republicans. And that is why Donald Trump is eager to take on this fight and eager for those scenes out of Los Angeles.
Now, I have to wonder. I have to wonder if you are a liberal 70-year-old watching CNN, as that is basically their main viewer or their main audience. What are you thinking to yourself when Harry Enton comes out basically every single day saying, you're wrong. You're on the wrong side of history. The American people are against you on this. They like what Donald Trump is doing. I have to imagine there's probably a bit of cognitive dissonance. But let me just grab this year Real Clear Politics aggregate polling and talk about how much I love polling. Right now, Donald Trump is at -2.6. That's pretty dang good. You know, the issue for Donald Trump, or for any president, is that not everybody agrees on everything. So getting to the point where you're basically 50-50 in the margin of error is pretty dang good. Now, it's tough. Trump's got negative press to deal with, but all presidents do. However, at this point, it appears that Donald Trump is rivaling or better than Obama and Bush in their second terms. And the reason why I exclude Joe Biden is that he didn't get a second term. And Trump's was non-consecutive, which is just it's kind of weird. But take a look at this, because I always got to bring this up. I love aggregate polling, but wait, what? Okay, hold on. Economist YouGov has Trump -8. Morning Consult -4. Rasmussen for the same time period +3. Okay. Now what's that? Qantas Insights has him +1, but CBS News has him -10. I just love how stupid and wrong all of this is. Okay. I don't know what to tell you guys. Okay. What I can tell you is Trump is probably right on immigration, because when polled directly on immigration, basically every poll says the same story. Now, what I will say for all of this, you can't just look at the aggregate. What I would recommend is choose, you don't know where Trump currently sits, but you do know the trends. Because let's take the worst one. We've got -13 from Yahoo News. Okay. Just check the next time Yahoo News does a poll and see how it changes. And if it goes from -13 to like -5, that's a tremendous improvement for Trump. See, the thing is, Rasmussen is going to have Trump at +3, but at the same time, if there's a dramatic improvement, he'll go to +8. So you can see the movement, but no one has any effing idea what's really going on. So I give you this. I love it. From Mediaite, Trump knows he's losing. Ex-Biden Spock says crackdown on protests is a distraction. He knows he's winning. CNN, Harry Enton, come on. CNN hates Trump, but he comes out and says this is why Trump wants to be on this issue.
Drew Bates, former spokesman for President Joe Biden, and Terry Holt, former spokesperson for President George W. Bush. Both are senior communications advisors for the Cost Coalition.
Oh, geez.
Now, I didn't, this is when you live television, I didn't read that tease before I sat down today. About, this being a distraction. Is it a distraction or are they just really good multitaskers at some very nefarious things?
The way I see it is, if you look back at Trump's history, this is somebody who gassed protesters in Lafayette Square during his first term. This is somebody who's always eager for a distraction when he knows he is losing support. And quantifiably, he is now the least popular president at this point in a term of anyone in history. And we know why that is. For one thing, his tariffs are the biggest middle-class tax hike in modern history.
Okay, guys, this is the difficult reality that we face. He just said on MSNBC, Trump is the least popular. Trump's aggregate approval rating, which I just showed you, is minus 2.6, rivaling or better than Obama and Bush. Homie just went on MSNBC and lied. What are we supposed to do about this? I can't stand it. It's the stop making me defend Trump reality. I'm sitting here thinking, what is my motivation, right? The Daily Show lies. Jon Stewart came out and said Trump is igniting the LA riots and all that stuff. And I'm like, the rioters are doing that. But they just lie. They lie. They lie. They lie every single day. Everything they say, they're just lying. Michael Mouse made a really great point yesterday. He said, if you want to understand what it's like to be blue-pilled, tell someone the weatherman's lying to you. And the response is going to be, why would the weatherman lie? They have nothing to lie for. What are you talking about? Why is the news doesn't lie? And that's basically what we're dealing with. Did you just hear what he said? Can I play this again for you?
In Lafayette Square during his first term.
Let's just pause there. He gassed protesters. You mean the violent rioters who threw a firebomb on the White House grounds and set fire to St. John's Church? Can we just play this? Come on. Okay. St. John's Church fire riot. It's not even hard to pull up. Not even hard to pull up. These people are lying. Historic church near White House damaged amid unrest. Leaders pray for healing. St. John's Church, known as the Church of Presidents, was damaged after... It says peaceful protests. Yo. Oh, man. I don't even know anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps the sad reality is that we are up against demons. They actually wrote, St. John's Church was damaged after peaceful protests took a destructive turn. Peaceful protests in the headline about the church being set on fire. Okay. Bishop Marian Bood later on Monday criticized Trump for allowing police to use tear gas. I criticized Trump for that too. Trump, just let him burn the church down next time. That's what the church leaders wanted. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, all of it, okay? These women want men in their sports. I'm not even joking. How many women are speaking up about men and women's sports? Very few. Okay. Women voted for it. Now you may be saying, Tim, what does that have to do with any of this? I'm telling you, when the church comes out and says, Trump, how dare you stop the protesters from burning down our church? Trump should have let it happen. This is why I should be nowhere near government, and I never will be. And I will simply be the whinging man on the internet. You know what I'd do? If during the M29 riots where the far left firebombed the White House and St. John's Church, injuring hundreds of officers in an insurrection, I'd let it happen. I'd let it happen. I'd issue a statement saying there are violent agitators in an otherwise peaceful protest. And to avoid loss of life or serious harm, we are standing down. We're standing back and standing by because we don't want to disrupt a peaceful protest. Now, I know everyone in the world has some, everybody on the left, they're going to have some response. They're going to say, how could Trump let this happen? I'd say, you're right. I genuinely didn't expect the left to be violent terrorists. That's what I'd say. This is the problem with conservatives. They don't get the game that left is playing. Let me just play this guy's stupid comment again.
Somebody who's always eager for a distraction when he knows he is losing support. And quantifiably, he is now the least popular president at this point in a term of anyone in history. And we know why.
Of anyone, not even a president. Okay, well, here's President Trump's job approval. And mind you, again, this is from this clip, June 10th. So I'm imagining this aired just the other night. Do they say the date on when this aired? Either way, Trump's aggregate approval rating has been pretty dang good. Do they have comparables on this? Look at all this polling data. There was comparable polling data that went massively viral, but he's just making it up. And these people just believe it. Minus 2.6. Let's check immigration aggregation. Plus 4.5 on immigration. So you want to tell me from 6.6 to 6.9, that's when the poll was conducted, over the weekend with mass rioting, plus 4 from The Economist. Look at this one from RMG, plus 14. He's looking for a distraction because he's losing.
For one thing, his tariffs are the biggest middle-class tax hike in modern history. They're raising the prices that he ran on lowering. That was his number one promise. Now he's embroiled in a debate over inflationary tax giveaways for the rich that the country rejects, especially because they come at the price of Medicaid, Affordable Care Act, adding to the debt. And in other areas, his administration's falling apart, too. Elon Musk says he's in the Epstein files. He also just accepted a $400 million personal bribe in the form of a jet from Qatar, which is a country that funds Hamas. So I think this is the kind of sputtering behavior that you see from him when he really wants to talk about anything but the economy. And so I think that when we speak out against the ways that he is abusing power, it's important for us to still make sure that that's in the conversation.
Well, I pulled this up for you from Real Clear Politics. Eric Daughtry with the tweet, of course. Real Clear Politics has, as of June 4th, Donald Trump has a higher approval rating than Obama and Bush at the same time in their term. Why are they lying? Because they are evil demons that want to steal power. And you know what, man? The people who follow them believe it. And so don't you get it? You know, there's this show. It's funny. There's a show, it's a creep show, it's called. And I was just watching this clip. It's an old, it's not super old, it's a few years old, I think. But I remember seeing this episode where there's a guy stuffed in a suitcase. And every time he feels pain, he barfs up a gold coin. So what happens? The young people who find him say, let's not free him. Let's just beat him and get money. And that's how I view the Democratic Party and their voter base. Democratic voters are like, we're hurting, please. And the Democrats are like, that's probably too loud, mercilessly beating them while they're saying, thank you, may I have another? And I'm just sitting here being like, yo, why don't you guys break free from this? You know, as the saying goes, Harriet Tubman said, I have freed many slaves. I would have freed many more if only they knew they were slaves. And they try and claim that the Republican Party is a bunch of cultists. And I'm just sitting here being like, the Republican Party got into a fight with Elon Musk over spending. Rand Paul and Massey are attacked by the Trump administration, while many conservatarians and right-wing individuals still defend Massey and Rand Paul. It's not a cult. I saw one tweet and they were like, are you really abandoning Trump over this? It was that easy. And I'm like, yeah, maybe it's not a cult. So anyway, there you go. What a ridiculous political party. And no amount of me showing this information and proof to people changes the minds of these liberals. They live in crackpot Wally world where they believe whatever lies is shoved down their throats. And then they claim it's you who believe the lies. Hey, I got the data. I'll show you the sources. Okay, you can see it right there. Whatever, man. I'm going to wrap it up there. Stay tuned. We got more segments coming up for you in a little bit, and we will see you all shortly.